All right, hello, my name is Тодд Троксел, and I'm an assistant coach on for UGEMCA this year.
Добрый день, меня зовут Тодд Троксель, и я работаю ассистентом тренера в баскетбольном клубе УГМК.
It's an honor to be here, and I'm glad to be able to talk to you guys, and hopefully I can give you some things that we use with our players that you can hopefully will help your players.
Мне очень приятно, что у меня есть возможность сегодня пообщаться с вами. Я вам покажу некоторые вещи, которые мы используем в работе с нашими игроками. Я надеюсь, что они будут полезны и вам, вашим работе.
I've been working with basketball players for about, at the professional level for like 13 years now, and I'm very fortunate because I've been able to work with some of the best players in the world, men and women.
На данный момент я работаю в профессиональном баскетболе уже 13 лет, и я работал со многими профессиональными игроками, как в мужском баскетболе, так и в женском.
And I've learned a little bit from every player and coaches I've been around, and I keep learning today. I'm always learning, and I feel like that's very important in the game of basketball.
Я учился чему-то от каждого игрока, от каждого тренера, с которым я работал. И я думаю, что в такой игре, как баскетбол, очень важно постоянно учиться чему-то новому.
So before I kind of show you today I was going to show you some skill work for your guards players and post players.
Сегодня я вас познакомлю с некоторыми упражнениями для защитников и для центровых игроков.
But I just want to talk to you a little bit about what I think you have to instill in your players for your players to play at the highest level.
Но также я хочу поговорить о том, что вы должны дать вашим игрокам, чтобы они играли на высоком уровне.
And I think the number one thing is self-motivation.
Я думаю, самая главная и самая первая вещь – это самомотивация.
A lot of people think that just because you're tall or fast that you're just automatically going to be a basketball player.
Некоторые люди думают, что если вы высокий или вы быстрый, то это уже вы автоматически становитесь баскетболистом.
Or like you see like a Candace Parker or a Diana Taurasi and you just think that they were just born to play basketball.
Если вы посмотрите на Даяну Таурази, на Кэндис Паркер, вы можете подумать, что они вот прямо взяли и родились баскетболистами.
But it's actually the opposite, because those players that are the best, they work harder than everybody else does.
На самом деле это не так. Самые лучшие игроки работают намного больше, чем остальные игроки.
There's a lot of tall people in the world. There's a lot of athletic people in the world. But what makes people that play at the very highest level, they actually work harder every day on their own, harder than all those other people do.
В мире много высоких игроков, много спортсменов, но только великие спортсмены работают каждый день над собой, чтобы играть.
And before I came to Russia, I was in China with the Chinese basketball team.
Перед тем, как приехать в Россию, я был в Китае с китайской национальной сборной.
And I think we kind of, the adults here, we all agree it's kind of a different world we live in now than 30, 40 years ago.
И я думаю, что сейчас мы живем в мире, который намного отличается от того мира, который там 30-40 лет назад.
And I think the athlete and coaching has changed with that.
И, естественно, процесс тренировки спортсменов, подготовки спортсменов очень изменился с того времени.
I know in China and previously in Russia, it was a lot of do, and not make the players kind of be self-motivated.
Я знаю, что в России и в Китае до этого многие заставляли игроков работать, тренироваться, но никто не говорил о самомотивации игрокам.
And I think this is very important for the future of basketball in Russia.
И я думаю, для будущего баскетбола в России это очень важно.
Because no matter how much a coach tells a player that they have to do it, if that player doesn't want to do it, they're only going to be so good.
Неважно, сколько бы тренер не говорил игроку, что ты должен это делать, пока игрок не захочет сам, ничего не получится.
And I think when a coach gets a player to be self-motivated, to want to work hard on their own without you yelling at them, or to want to work hard on their own time, I think that shows a really good coach.
И когда тренер приучает игрока, чтобы игрок сам хотел работать, сам хотел совершенствовать себя, а не тренер должен заставлять работать, кричать на игрока, вот это показывает настоящего тренера.
And I think there's a lot of examples that prove that.
И я думаю, сейчас очень много примеров, которые доказывают это.
I used to be Yao Ming's personal coach, the big tall guy. Yao Ming.
Я был персональным тренером такого игрока, как Яо Мин. Я надеюсь, вы знаете его, очень высокий.
And he was trained as a kid in kind of the older way of training where they trained him 8 hours a day and told him what to do all the time.
И он начинал тренироваться по старой системе. 8 часов в день ему говорили, что он должен делать.
And when he came to the NBA, he had to learn that it was up to him if he wanted to be good or not to have someone yelling at him all the time.
И когда он пришел в НБА, он понял, что если он хочет быть хорошим игроком, он должен тренироваться сам. Не кто-то должен это заставлять, а он сам это должен делать.
And since he played in the NBA these last 12 years, he went back to China and took over youth basketball in China. And that was one thing that he really wanted to instill was self-motivation.
И в течение 12 лет, пока он играл в НБА, он возвращался в Китай и работал над развитием юношеского баскетбола в Китае. И он хочет установить вот такие же правила, такие же принципы в баскетболе, в подготовке игроков.
So with that said, I think when you think about being a coach or working with players, our head coach yells at our players all the time too, and I yell at players, but in the back of his mind, in my mind, we're always trying to find out how they're going to want to make themselves better, and I think that's very important.
Конечно, и я, и наш главный тренер постоянно кричим на наших игроков, но тем не менее в голове мы знаем, что это помогает им самим начать работать над собой.
And then the other thing is, you always need to have the ability to learn.
И еще одна важная вещь, у вас всегда должна быть возможность и желание учиться.
Like with television today and the internet, there's so many resources at your hands to learn from other coaches or to watch games and learn.
С развитием телевидения и интернета у вас есть огромные возможности, чтобы учиться у разных тренеров по всему миру.
And the game is changing. Every year it's different.
И игра сама по себе меняется каждый год.
Especially because people are more athletic now. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. So the game is changing as athletes change.
И игра меняется еще и потому, что меняются игроки сами спортсмены. Они становятся быстрее, сильнее, физически сильнее, и от этого тоже меняется игра.
So it's kind of like if you're the best or if you win, you can't be happy with that. You have to keep learning so you can keep winning, so you can keep being the best. Because if you don't, someone will pass you up.
Если вы сейчас уже самый лучший, самый быстрый, и вы все выигрываете, это не значит, что вам нужно прекратить заниматься. Наоборот, нужно дальше продолжать работать и работать.
So the ability to learn and keep learning is also has done me wonders. I call it being ego-free, but it's done me wonders. And all the best coaches I've been around, they're always learning and always trying to get better and play.
С тренерами, с которыми я работала, с игроками, которыми я работала, они всегда продолжали учиться и учиться, несмотря на то, какие они хорошие были. То есть возможность и желание учиться – это одно из самых важных.
Okay, and then before I show you some drills, I think when you train players, you really need to, it's like you need to train them for muscle memory.
И перед тем, как показать вам несколько упражнений, я думаю, что вам еще стоит учить игроков, чтобы они делали упражнения от мышечной памяти.
And the only way to get muscle memory is with repetition, just practicing it over and over.
Чтобы получить вот эту мышечную память, вам нужно тренироваться постоянно.
It's almost like a basketball player is a computer. You just got to train it so that it does the same thing over and over.
То есть вам нужно научить быть игрока, быть
So I think it's very important that you work on certain skills and you train that over and over and build a foundation.
Я думаю, что вам нужно научить игроку какому-то аспекту и повторять это снова и снова.
Because basketball is a very reactive sport. It's quick. It's not chess. It's not checkers. It's not where you can think about it. You got to be able to. You can't really think about it. Like you make a move one way, something happens. You want your body to react the proper way without thinking about it.
Потому что баскетбол это очень быстрый вид спорта. Это не шахматы, где можно подумать. То есть баскетбол это игра движений, и не всегда есть время подумать. Но если происходит одно действие, а вы ожидали другого, вам нужно быстро реагировать. И времени нет на это, поэтому нужно научить свое тело быстро реагировать.
So I'm going to show you some stuff today that we do at Ugemka.
Я покажу вам некоторые вещи, которые мы делаем в нашей команде.
And that I've done with all the players I train.
И я делаю эти упражнения со всеми игроками, с которыми я работаю.
And everything's kind of a foundation that then you can build on as through the progression as they get better.
И я вам покажу такие основные моменты, а затем вы можете на эту базу накладывать что-то уже дальше.
So let's do okay, ball handling. Can I get you two and 4 balls? So you each need 2. Can you guys give us those balls?
Yeah.
Some more. Okay, it's very important that you can obviously dribble the both. And I don't know exactly like the age group that you guys are both players that you go with. But I think you'll always see with kids, like if they're really good with their right hand, they'll never use their left hand. And even though it's not realistic, I try to train everybody like they're going to be a professional one day. And everybody's good at a certain level, but when you get to the top level, if you have a weakness, it's going to be exposed. So you have to make you have no weaknesses. So with ball handling, I like to work a lot with 2 balls. And it forces you to use both hands, obviously. But also, as you'll see later, like when you're using one hand, you want to be using your off arm to push people away, to hold people off. And so even though 2 ball dribbles helps with your ball handling, it also helps when you just have 1 ball. Okay, so the basics of dribbling is you always want to keep the ball in your hands. You don't want it to get up in your wrists. Because as you get better, rather than just dribbling like this, you start going combinations, you want to keep it in your hands. Because this half a second that you have it up in your wrist is slower than this is quick. This isn't as quick. So we do almost daily, it's just kind of real quick, like ball energy. And you want to be athletic, so you have to be athletic. So just don't let them just dribble like this, like the athletic position. And they're always keeping the ball below their waist, just in their hands. Head up. got to see the floor in basketball.
Итак, вы можете увидеть площадку.
So, like you start like this, 2 balls same time. So I'm just going to show you everything kind of a short version of what we do.
Я вам покажу краткие версии того, что мы делаем.
And we want to go on the move.
И дальше мы начинаем.
Okay, so same time. And we do this because referees aren't always the best, and then we can't see everything. There's a lot of fouling that goes on in basketball. So dribble same time, next time. That way they're taking contact and being able to dribble at the same time.
Таким образом мы включаем игроков иметь контакт и вести мяч, например.
Now and like you'll see, at first they'll lose the ball a lot, but then once they start getting used to taking that contact, they start to do like these two have done it before.
До таких упражнений игроки очень много теряют мяч, когда они ведут мяч и фалят. С помощью таких упражнений вы можете получить контакт.
Okay, another thing. You want to get everything you do on the basketball court, you want to be efficient as far as footwork.
Все, что вы делаете на баскетбольной площадке, должно быть эффективно и должно быть связано с скоростью.
So if it takes me 1 step to get to here, I'd rather do that than take 2 or 3 steps.
Для меня мне хватит одного шага, чтобы пройти метр, но я могу сделать 2 или 3.
So we work on getting long.
И мы работаем над тем, чтобы быть.
So like when they come off of a screen and they catch the ball and do a shot fake and take 1 dribble, we want them to get as long as possible.
И когда они входят, чтобы поднять мяч, выходят из-под заслона, нужно иногда делать длинные шаги и вот с помощью.
Nasty is guarding me.
Если Настя меня защищает,
And Fabi sets a screen.
и я ставлю заслон,
And I catch the ball here.
и я возьму мяч здесь.
If I just take a little step,
Если я делаю маленькие
she's
шажки,
able to get to me quickly.
она сможет поймать меня быстро.
But if I really get long, I have a lot of space.
Но если я сделаю несколько длинных шагов, тогда я создам пространство, и она не сможет.
So one thing to do with ball handling and getting long is feel like your head is going to fall, like you're going to fall on your face, and then really push long.
И следующее упражнение — это когда голова наклонена так, как вы собираетесь упасть, вам нужно делать длинные шаги.
So that the players will understand that like you need your body to get that momentum going to get you long. If you're straight up, you're not going to go very long.
Если вы идете прямо, вы не сможете сделать длинные шаги. Ваше тело сделать справа или слева ноги.
Now, make sure when your players do this that their feet are parallel. And when they step, most of them will do this. They'll step back and then forward.
Обратите внимание, что ноги ваших игроков должны быть расположены параллельно. Обычно они ставят одну ногу назад. Так легче, так и правильно.
Don't allow them to do this.
Не позволяйте им так делать.
Because, like I'm saying, like it's the little things that decide like who's going to be the best players and who aren't.
Такие маленькие вещи решают, кто будет лучшим игроком.
So this half a step, this half a second, that's going to make me slow.
Вот такой вот маленький шажок назад и полсекунды.
Раз, два, три. Раз, два, три.
So this half a step. Will make me slower. So take that half a step away.
Такой вот маленький шажок назад делает меня медленнее, потому что я долго.
And that's the same thing with your players. Like start here, and go all the way to half court, or sideline, one pivot, and then.
Итак, упражнение заключается в следующем. Начинаем от этой линии до середины площадки. Сначала правая нога, потом левая.
And that'll help them get longer.
И это не
Longer.
И это должно быть длиннее.
Okay. Another drill we do. It's called getting bouncing. Like bouncing.
Следующее упражнение,
Okay, to be an explosive basketball player, you have to have bounce to you.
чтобы быть хорошим игроком, вам нужно припустить.
If you're on your heels, you're going to be slow.
Если вы будете делать это на пятках, нет.
You really got to get on the balls of your feet,
Вам нужно быть вот на этой части.
because that'll make you explosive. No? Yes.
С помощью этого вы будете более подвижны.
So one drill we do, trampoline. Is that what trampoline is? Like trampoline.
Одно упражнение называется трамплин.
So we kind of have them exaggerate, like they're bouncing on their toes like this.
И задание заключается в том, что им нужно танцевать на двух пальцах.
Every time they make a move, they're bouncing off the balls of their feet. So if they cross in front, I'm bouncing off my right, like that.
И в течение всего упражнения им нужно будет оставаться на обоих пальцах и вести мяч.
And then bounce to the left, bounce off this ball.
И то есть все движения должны совершаться на двух пальцах, перепрыгивая с одной стороны на другую.
So we'll start with cross in front. So just go bounce. Okay. So we have to do that all the time. Make it even more bouncy.
Мы заставляем это делать.
You really want it to be explosive. So then we go through the legs. So when they go through the legs, we want them to bounce off the back of the foot.
Дальше мы берем мяч под живой. Нос соприкасается.
Okay, up. Heel on the floor.
Видите, она ставит пятку все время.
So it's making her not explosive. So you really want to be like this. Bounce it. Bounce. Bounce. You understand?
Показал сейчас, как правильно делать.
Bounce. Okay, when you kind of back. Same thing. So, all right. Then we'll go combinations.
Затем мы делаем комбинацию, микс.
So, we're going to bounce this way, and we're going to stay on their toe and bounce back.
Мы отправляем мяч в пальцем на ноги, и затем делаем большой выпад.
So, they're bouncing and bouncing, the heel never touches.
Самое важное при этом, чтобы пятка не касалась.
Good.
Сейчас мастер будет вести мяч правой рукой, я буду перегибать и делать пасы, а она должна поймать второй мяч левой. И мы будем это делать по всей игре.
So this is like ball handling, passing, everything.
То есть это движение сочетает в себе все и владение мяча, и принятие мяча.
Okay. Like your whole team. They come back. And then you switch. Switch hands, same thing. Cross, do everything me and did everything me and Nasty just did. They do it together.
Они делают то же самое, что я делала с Настей, только
Okay, moves off the field. So that's like ball handling, being comfortable with the ball.
Сейчас мы переходим к следующему упражнению. Это ведение мяча
Now, I'll show you a little bit. I call this the Kobe Bryant drill because he does this like every day. He's pretty good at it. He's a pretty good player. So the key here is it's a sequence of moves. So this cone is a defender. So Nasti will be this cone, or just stand over. So I'm going to come at her like this, and I'm going to put a move on her. And it'll be cross in front, through my legs, and behind my back. Now it's important that this first move in a game, I hope I beat him on the first move. So if you're teaching players this to start out with, you probably just want to start with this first move and make it really good. But most defenders can handle a first move, so you want to have a counter. So if I go this way and she comes over, I want to be able to counter back the other way. So we go up to 3 moves now. But with kids, I would probably start, or first doing this with anybody, I would start with 2 moves. And there's so many variations you can do on it. Like first move short, first move long, second move short. But you really want to make sure that they're being efficient. So if you have 2 cones, that means 2 steps, 2 dribbles. And you want them to, you want your offensive players always attacking. That's the point of the cones. If I come here and I don't go anywhere and I come back here, I'm going to hit this cone if I'm not attacking. Always want your players over. So it should look like this. You come up, cross, cross, shot. Now, I'm guessing a lot of your players are going to do this. They're going to come through these little steps, and that's not good. You want to be efficient. 2 steps, 2 dribbles. And another little thing, to truly be able to shoot off the dribble, you shouldn't have to take this dribble. So that'll slow you. That's an extra dribble, which is that extra half a second that'll slow you down. So these tools are really quick. This is how we do it. We say, and also understand that this means when the cone's set up over here, my first move's to the middle, my second move's going this way. And so when you're going through it with players, you can tell them you want your first move this way and the second move that way. Okay, so cross in front, shot. That's good. Just shoot. 1, 2, shot. Perfect. Okay. Move legs, shot. Move legs. Good. Okay, hold on, Now you see what Nasti did good there. this. Okay, and then you tell them any combination they want with those three moves. And as you, as the coach, you can be up here and reaching. So, Nastya, go through the legs, cross the floor. Through here. And then she goes. Come back again. So they understand that it's a counter to me. So come at it hard and go cross the floor, cross the floor. See, that's good. Except for she takes that extra grip. Okay, now to get to three moves, and trust me, you wanted to get really good at this before you had three moves. But as a progression, so cross in front, cross in front, cross in front. Jump here, go three, shot. Okay? Same thing, you go. So she's always coming forward. Do the leg. Okay? And then behind the back. Really hard. The NBA players can't even do this most of the time. But go 3 times. 2, 3, shot.
Очень сложное упражнение даже для игроков НБА, когда делать три перемещения с мяч за спиной.
But if you can get your players to practice this daily,
но если вы будете тренировать игроков, давать им такие упражнения каждый день,
they should be able to beat people up.
тогда они будут выигрывать игроков на тренинг.
Because a not good defender you can beat with one move.
Потому что вы не можете обыграть игрока с одним движением.
A pretty good defender you can beat with 2 moves.
Но еще лучше, когда вы можете сделать это упражнение на 2.
And a really good defender you should be able to beat with 3 moves.
И очень хорошо, когда вы обходите защитника с помощью этих 3 движений.
So like your wings, you set it up, or your forward players, you set it up on the side, you can set it up in the middle, you can set it up all over.
Вы можете установить, делать такое упражнение на любой части площадки, там, где это необходимо ваше.
But we do this all the time.
Мы делаем это упражнение постоянно.
Okay, another thing, changing speeds is important for a guard, or any player.
Следующая вещь, которая важна для любого игрока, это изменение скорости.
Because basketball game is explosive, it's not just one speed all the time.
Игра баскетбола, она не постоянная смена скорости.
So we call this the hizzo. Like where you kind of hesitate and then go.
Называется ускорение, то есть сначала первое движение, потом все упражнения делают.
Now, Nastya has worked on this a lot. Okay, so she's going to come up as a guard. You want to be able to come up, kind of change speeds, be able to pass, shoot, or drive.
Защитник должен уметь делать несколько движений, должен бросовать, прийти к корзине.
So do a couple of different come on, hesitate, shot. Up, hesitate, shot. Okay. Now that one little hesitation that she has allows her to make a quick pass, shoot, or drive. So hesitate and also drive. That's good. Okay, do that one more time. And feel good, left hand, right hand. Come on, hesitate. Okay, so we do that a lot. Just practice it. Now that you can do this off the screens as well. So Nastya, come on to the side pick, side screen. And a lot of times the big is going to hedge kind of get come on the screen, just take this. So she comes. But you want your guards, you want everybody to change the speed. Okay. Shoulders low, and that goes with kind of this too.
Следующее упражнение называется низкое плечо, и оно тоже связано с этим.
Dasha, get on as well. Dasha, come down. Okay, in basketball, there's a lot of contact.
В баскетболе очень много контакта.
So you need to be strong. You need to be able to take a hit and go through it.
И вам нужно уметь получить удар и пройти через него.
So what we do a lot, if Nasta's here and I touch her here, she's not very strong.
И мы делаем очень много раз, когда я трогаю Настю за плечо, и она очень
But if she's down like this, rocking, like this part of her body is hard.
Но если она так эмоции, я начну ее так за плечо, и эта часть тела ее сильнее.
So if I'm defending her and I'm open, she wants to go through me.
Если я ее защищаю, я открыта, она хочет пройти через меня.
And the only way she's going to go through me, if she's up, I can push her, I can move her.
И если она хочет пройти, и она стоит прямо, она слабая, и я могу ее выпустить.
But if she has this shoulder down,
Но если она опустит плечо вниз,
she can hit me and go through me.
тогда она меня сможет ударить.
So one thing we do to work on this is she has two balls, she gets down hard, so she can do that and she pushes it. Like to half forward and back, and then every other drill. And like she's not the biggest girl, but like I can feel her, she's strong, she's down low.
Но она не самый сильный игрок, не самый мощный, но тем не менее в такой позиции я чувствую, что она сопротивляется.
Like if she would stay upright, she couldn't move.
И если вот так, она меня не сможет.
But when she gets down, I can feel her, she's strong.
Но когда она наклоняется, я чувствую, что она сильная, и она может меня.
So that's a good drill to work on getting your shoulders low.
И вот это хорошее упражнение, где
But like, let's come back to this side.
давайте вернемся назад.
Okay, when she comes off this corner,
Когда она обходит,
she's going to hesitate. She's going to drop this arm and this shoulder so she can go through me.
когда она проходит через этот заслон, она должна наклонить правое плечо и таким образом пройти через меня.
So like if you have at your gym, if you have like a pad, you can hit them.
Если у вас в зале есть такая накладка на руку, вы можете сами,
Or they have to go through you.
они должны проходить через вас.
So I don't have a pad, but I'll kind of show you. She comes here, she hesitates,
Но я покажу вам.
and then she drops that shoulder and gets
И она должна проскользнуть через это плечо.
And if you push on her,
И вы должны толкаться.
because if she comes open, I'm going to push her over.
Но если она пройдет прямо, я ее смогу оттолкнуть.
Same thing with Dasha, with your big.
Такое же, то же самое с большими даже.
Like, I always say punch,
Я бы сказала,
because you want to get this part of your body like this.
нужно, чтобы вот эта часть тела находилась в таком положении.
And you want to make yourself as big as possible. If you just do this, you're not big. If you do this, you're not big. But if you do this, you're big and you're solid.
Нужно, чтобы игрок занимал как можно больше пространства на площадке. Если игра или рука будет прижата, этого не будет. Вам нужно, чтобы рука была перед.
So your bigs can come in the elbow, like they catch the ball a lot.
Ваши центровые очень много ловят мяч, и они достаточно.
Have them face up.
Вам нужно, чтобы они сдали пространство.
And then try to get this little like jab step on. Because you want them to understand they're trying to get their defender to open their feet.
Вашему центровому нужно заставить защитника расставить ноги, и ваш
Like I was saying, right now, Dasha, she owns me.
Сейчас Даша играет.
But once I get her to open her feet, yeah, throw that way.
А сейчас
Now I own her.
как только Даша встанет в позицию, уже тот играет.
Because if she has her feet open,
Если ее ноги,
she can't take the charge.
она не может владеть.
So I can go through her. When she has her feet like this, she can beat me to the spot and take the charge.
Она может двигаться в любую сторону и владеть ситуацией.
But the second I get her to open her feet, now it's all mine. I can go right there.
Но если она ставит одну ногу назад, она уже становится открытой и может пройти через нее.
As long as I get that arm out and that shoulder down, she's either going to foul me or I'm going to go through.
Как только Даша находится в такой позиции, тот сможет наклонить плечо влево, Даша либо сфалит, либо потеряет очки.
So for your bigs, just kind of get them to work on their footwork. Come here, jab, one step.
Кому хочет полезно, следующее упражнение вот этих небольших шажков.
Get them to get that arm out.
И правильная постановка руки.
Same thing here. Jab, arm out.
Так, шаг в сторону и вправо.
It's very important, I think.
Это очень, по моему мнению, это очень важно.
Okay. Tucking the ball. Tucking the ball. Because, okay, if you're a good basketball player, you're probably going to have more attention than just one person guarding you. Everybody's going to be helping.
У вас не один игрок выходит на площадку, у вас находится несколько игроков, которые помогают друг другу.
So, if you get the ball to your body, no one should be able to take it.
Если вы прижмете мяч к телу, никто не сможет забрать.
Like American football. If you hold it here, no matter what they do, you got to get it to your body.
Как в американском футболе, если вы прижимаете мяч, никто не сможет его отобрать.
So what we do is we have to do the Kobe,
Мы делаем упражнение
and I'm a help defender, because I'll be guarding somebody over here.
и кто-то обычно защищает кого-то там.
So she's gonna drive to the basket, she's gonna beat her man,
Она должна пройти к корзине, обыграть своего игрока.
and then when I come to help, I'm gonna try to steal it. She's gonna tuck it and then finish.
И затем тот идет на помощь и пытается отобрать нас.
So as a coach, like have a pad or something and hit them.
И таким образом у тренера должна быть либо перчатка, либо какой-то дополнительный инструмент, чтобы украсть.
So Nastya, so I'm here like this. It's perfect. Okay, and then when she comes this way, she's gonna come back to the middle, and I'm gonna be helping from here, so I'm gonna reach, so she wants to tuck it on this side.
И затем тренер меняет сторону, чтобы тренироваться больше разные движения во время.
So you want her to tuck with her left arm.
Теперь нужно с левой стороны.
Okay. Good. Okay, the only way you do it better.
И еще один способ сделать упражнение лучше.
Well, as your players get, try to get them to tuck with only one arm.
Постарайтесь научить их атаковать одной рукой.
Because like I said, the person I'm meeting here, I'm going to be pulling them off. When this person's come, I want to be tucking over here.
Когда вы обыгрываете одного игрока здесь может быть второй, и таким образом вам одной рукой придется отталкивать одного защитника, а другой держать.
The main thing is get the ball to their body.
Самое важное – это научить их прижать мяч к телу.
Okay, and then using your off arm, so you get through this trap right here. So there's going to be a big person that's going to come over probably.
Так вы проходите здесь может быть еще один высокий.
So there's two important things.
Еще здесь очень два важных момента.
You got to take away the big shot blocking angle.
Вам нужно сделать так, чтобы центровой не поставил руку.
So Nastya. So if Nastya leaves, for the basket right here,
Если Настя идет к корзине,
as a shot blocker, I have Instead of shooting your legs like this, make yourself small. You want to make yourself big. You want to, the best look like this. Or they go, they're almost like this. That window I have in the defense. So say the basket's here. She's Stepanova. Okay? So if I go like this, she won't block me. But if I go up like this, I have space. If she comes into my space, it's a foul. So that's very important when you get your guards to finish. How do you go up? With both hands. Okay? So just know that, like when you're training, have a coach here. Have them do the Kobe, drive to the basket, and come with the pad and hit them. And they're either going to get hit in the head or they're going to hit that pad. Does that make sense? Okay, so now bigs. Give me a big one. Okay, now for bigs, it's very important that you do one of two things. If you're finishing on the baseline, you want to get your chest parallel to the baseline. For the same reason. If she opens her shoulders and she's not parallel, like me. If she's parallel, I gotta go through her body. So we do a lot. So this also goes with the hook shot. So with this, when you're training your course players, you start with just have them shoot a hook shot. And they got to come here. And you want their chest parallel to the sideline. And the way that you always get your chest parallel is if your feet are parallel. My foot's forward, which a lot of big players do, it opens me up. But if my feet are parallel to the sideline, it's the same thing. If I'm parallel, I can go up and get. Most of your bigs are going to have wider shoulders, so their shoulders up. So have them do that to the middle. And then have the drop step. When they drop step, parallel, go up. Okay? The off arm and the way you keep your shoulders is so important in basketball. Okay, I don't have much time, and Olaf has a lot more important things to talk about. So I'll just say a couple things here. One's really easy to do, not to do. Okay, you want her to catch hook shots. She's going to catch from me, get her feet, hook, catch, hook, catch, hook. So we'll just show you really quick. Okay, so just one after the other. Turn, hook, back, hook. That's a drill we can do a lot. Just get them to use their feet, get them to get this off arm up like parachute, kind of like this. Go up, catch, go up.
Итак, упражнение состоит в том, чтобы научить их правильно ставить ноги, правильно разворачивать плечи.
That means to punt it over all of our bigs will do this. And, you know, make 5, make 5, make 5.
Мы делаем со всеми центровыми и с Степановой, в том числе с 3 разных точек, разных высот, 5 высот.
Okay, another thing. When you practice with your players, you really want them to practice shots that are actually going to shoot the game.
Когда вы тренируете своих игроков, вы должны заставлять делать те броски, которые они будут делать во время игры.
So whatever fits your offense, whatever, you know, if you guard, shoot a lot in the corner, make sure you're shooting a lot of shots in the corner and practice.
Это, конечно, зависит от тактики вашего нападения, но если у вас игроки бросают много с угла, то заставляйте их бросать на тренировках много.
But beside that, a couple things you can do to get your players to get arc on the ball. And also just to understand that it's possible to make a switch. Like to challenge them. Call +5, -5. So she just stands here. Every time she swishes it, even if it hits the rim, it doesn't count. It's a minus. So it has to be a swish. And hopefully they'll get to +5 before they get to minus. Okay, so let's just try it. Okay, so that's -1. -2. -3. -4. There you go. -3. -4. So you get it, so you're trying to get to +5. Okay, she does it here. Take a step back. Take another step back. So Rossi, do it all the way from here. Maybe 5 swishes. So like challenging players to get there. Another shooting drill. If I throw her the ball and she shoots it, I'm not going to foul her, but I'm going to have a hand all over. So just catch and shoot. Hey, you're like kind of running at it with the hand grip mix. Like running low at it.
Вы можете делать разные движения, но это не должно быть фол. Вы можете просто руку к лицу подставить, просто руку поднести и таким образом.
Alright. But that's, I mean, we don't have any more time, so,
Но у меня уже вышло время.
you know, hopefully, like, kind of have a foundation as far as, like, ball handling, using your off arms, using your body.
Но я думаю, такие базовые навыки поведения мяча, использование второй свободной руки очень важны.
But the main thing is just practice with a purpose.
Но самое важное, это вам нужно тренироваться с целью.
You know, like, make them efficient where if they can get somewhere in 1 step rather than 3, get there in 1 step.
Вам нужно научить их быть эффективными. Вместо 3 маленьких шажков делать 1 большой.
I wanted to talk to you about defense. One thing about defense is you want your defender to be square. Square. So like, my feet are always square on something.
Еще одна вещь, которую я хочу сказать про защиту. Ваша позиция должна быть называться квадратной. Вы должны с защитником образовать квадрат.
Yeah, or parallel.
Или быть параллельно защитнику.
Because like I was telling you here, when I have a defender like this, they're dead.
Если я защищаюсь вот так вот, все, я.
And so as players get better, they see your feet open, they're going to attack you.
И
But as a defender, if I'm always parallel, then they don't have the upper hand.
Но если игрок видит, что я параллельный, ему я поднимаю руки, то это уже избегает.
And there's like a lot of closeout drills. You go one individual drill real quick.
Сейчас еще одно упражнение.
She has to stay on this side of the And the one thing for defense with bigs, you want them to use their body, it can be low and strong. So she's going to move her feet. And she's got to keep me out of the paint. So I'm going to push on her hard and she's going to do something and keep me out of the paint. Back this way. Okay, so you always want to move in their feet. If you can get low and push it, they put their arm out, that's okay, but if you can hit them in the chest, they have to do this. That's also very good.
Очень важно, чтобы рука была перед игроком, чтобы он не получил удар и был правильно работал ногами.
Alright, that's it. And then the last thing is, you know, like, every player is an individual.
И последняя вещь, которую хочу сказать, каждый игрок индивидуальный.
You know, like, that's just, I mean, individual emotionally and physically.
Индивидуальный, эмоциональный, физически.
And I think basketball is a unique game that way.
И я думаю, это делает баскетбол уникальной игрой.
You know, if you could train every player like train Michael Jordan, then everybody would be like Michael Jordan, but that's just not possible.
Ну, и если вы будете тренировать всех игроков, как Майкла Джордана, то все игроки будут Майкла Джордана. Но это невозможно.
You know, so I think being able to see as a coach what people are capable of doing and what works for them is very important.
Очень важно для тренера видеть, что может делать каждый игрок, что он способен.
So don't coach in one way is the only way. Like every person needs something a little bit different.
Не тренируйте всех одинаковым способом. Каждый игрок требует своего подхода.
Thanks for having me today.